Welcome to our channel Lightling Vision. Today Mother will continue with the subject of how to grow older. Welcome Mother.
Thank you, Natalie.
So you've talked about so many things, and today you will talk to us about probably because this is spontaneous. We decided to do a third one because we find that we don't see older people that seem to have this wise side to them. So how can what is your message for parents and grandparents, for example? How can they find this desire to become wiser, or is it possible to explain? Is it possible for them to have a certain is it possible for them to understand that it is important to acquire a certain wisdom and realize that staying young forever is not the goal, or is not the answer for this life?
Well, as you already said to me yourself, that was outside of this video, you said, yes, reassuring elderly people you hardly find anymore nowadays. So I saw that for you, old age, when you were younger, was the age in which the people knew things that you did not know yourselves, because they had the experience in life. And when you said this to me, I said to myself, you're right. I think it still it will happen, but less and less, because we are so much busy with staying young and healthy that we forget that in growing older there is something we can give to this world that's of another nature, but that's very precious. So what you do see is that from a general point of view, the younger generation, and I'm talking about between 30 and let's say 60, you cannot say that nothing happens in that generation. Life gets in its own way more difficult in modern times. There's more and more stress, pressure on people. What you do see is that more and more people somehow start thinking about life. That's true. But those people who are at this moment between 30 and 60, they are not elderly. We have to wait another 10 years to see what this will give. But what you do see, as I already said, is that between 30, let's say, and 60, those generations that are for this moment on Earth are thinking perhaps more than in some way more than other generations before them did. But they are mainly pushed by outer circumstances, the pressure of life, of modern life. And well, what they do with it is they might seek some psychological help, they might reflect on things, meditate, but for the moment we cannot say what this will give in 10 years. Will this be fruitful, yes or no? Only time will tell. Still, if we look around us, what we call at this moment the elderly generations, I would say between 60 and 80 or 90, people get older. It is true that there are not so many people in that age group that are what we might call wise or profound. So you see that between 30 and 60 nowadays, more and more people start reflecting on life in some way or another, under the pressure of life itself, the difficulties of modern life, as I already said. And then the generations between 60 and 90 nowadays somehow represent well, it's a big word, but let's say the missing link. They do not belong to those who already passed over 90. They do not belong to the younger generation, who are at this moment between 30 and 60. They're in between. So they have grown up in a modernizing world with a very strong physical and material emphasis. And those generations cannot completely provide our society with the wisdom that was in former times linked to old age. Mm-hmm. Perhaps the younger generations, when they get old, can again. But for the moment, no, not. When you look at the coronavirus and our nowadays difficulties, I would say this comes up in a society where elderly people are kept alive by any means, physically, to stay vigorous and healthy as long as possible, without ever talking about what elderly people could give to the society, otherwise than their presence. I mean, we keep at this moment elderly people alive just for them to stay alive, to be there. I'm not against it. But we do never talk about what they could give to the society from a deeper point of view, from a spiritual point of view. And so they are there. Their children and grandchildren are happy that they are still there. I won't say anything about it. But it's not, I think, the real function of elderly people. I think they should be as reassuring as what you said, as what you transmitted me. What I meant to say is that old age has a function in the life of an individual and in the whole of a society. A function that goes above just being glad that your grandmother or your grandfather are still there. It has to do with, as I already said many times, old age can bring wisdom in a society, can bring fruits of experience, can bring profound reflection, thinking, a positive kind of detachment from life. They're not struggling in the same way anymore as younger people. They have calmed down. They are less in a hurry. And that's what they can bring in our society. But the best thing is that this attitude is already thought over or cultivated almost from the beginning. Because this means that in the whole of your lifetime you have to think about that when you get older, what you can bring in society is this kind of experience and wisdom, and it's necessary. Because in spite of everything, even when, as I already said, the younger generations are more reflective nowadays, they are confronted to many difficulties and are forced to think more from a certain point of view than the generations before them. They're younger. And so you can also say wisdom comes with age. When you're 40, even though you might reflect and have a profound attitude towards life, you're not the same person as when you're 60 or 70 or 80. So there is something in biological development, in growing older, that is very precious and that comes with growing older. But still we have to reflect on that when we are younger and put our life somehow in the same direction, reflecting about what's happening to us, deepening out. When you're deepening out your life better, more, when you're already younger, it helps to have better fruits for the society when you're older. Well, that would be wonderful.
Thank you so much, Mother. I hope that you enjoy this profound discussion, that we are so lucky to have Mother with us. So register, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I wish you a very beautiful day. See you later.
Die Hügel von Karelia im Grünen versteckt, es sieht aus wie das Land meiner Träume. Die Hügel von Karelia mit Wäldern bedeckt, ein Reich von tausenden Bäumen. Manchmal bin ich gegangen und war weit weg, doch mein Herz könnte sich nicht entscheiden. Dieses Land, diese Natur, alles gab ich dafür. Es hat ganz meine Kindheit gekleidet. Was ist dieses Karelia in Grün gehüllt, Königin aus Elfengeschichten? Bin ich dann der Held, der zu ihr singt bis zum Tod, auch wenn niemand mich dazu verpflichtet? Oh mein Land, mein Karelia, ich komme wieder zu dir, um das Körper eine Grabstätte zu geben. Denn der Stoff kehrt zurück, woher er kam, aber zum Glück, was bleibt, ist die Liebe der Seele.